Good morning. I'm here in the intersection. This is a remarkable space. You know, it's gone through a lot of change. Jake and Hannah and the leaders and the students have done a phenomenal job of transforming the youth center, now called the intersection, into an amazing spot, which highlights what I want to talk about this morning. I want to talk about change. I want to talk about specifically for you as a leader with your ministry, your small group, how do you lead change in your ministry? Now remember, we're going through our my top 10 leadership principles I'm striving to live by. Just by way of review, last week was number 10. We talked about successful leaders are learners. And to watch that video, you can just click the link below. That video is there loaded for you and you can watch that. Here's number 9 this morning. It's this: lead change carefully. I tell you, I've violated this principle more times than I care to admit, but this is so important here. People, generally speaking, resist change. They don't like change. They don't want to change. Change is scary, and so it requires a good leader to lead a group of people through a change. Recently, about 2 weeks ago, the elders, we were in a training session. We're really practicing principle number 10. We do want to grow as leaders, as elders at the church. And the speaker said this: a church dies for 2 reasons. First, they change what they shouldn't. Did you catch that? See, this is the liberal church. This is the church who changes things they should never change. This would be like core beliefs and core doctrines. But here's a second reason a church dies: or they don't change what they're free to change. Oh, why don't churches do that? Well, because it's scary. Because see, sometimes churches have a mindset where they want to structure for control, because if you can control things, then you can keep bad things from happening. But here's the unintended consequence, and that is that you kill growth. You kill momentum. And so change and being willing to change in a church or ministry, being willing to enter into change, because things are always changing. Churches are always changing. How do you do that? So here's my question this morning. What do you do as a leader if you want to lead your ministry through a change? This is whether it's your ministry, your small group, or the workplace, or whatever it is. 5 quick principles. Here they are. Number 1, determine your course of action. In other words, what's the change you want to make? In this process, do your homework, pray, talk to people, brainstorm, get ideas, include people in the process. But at some point as a leader, you've got to decide, this is the action we're going to take. This is the next best move we need to make. So number 1, determine your course of action. Number 2, communicate. And after you've communicated, communicate more. If you feel like you're over communicating, you're probably just starting the process of good communication. So make sure you're talking to people and people are in the know. Here's number 3, allow time for acceptance. So after you've determined your course of action, after you've communicated, you need to give people space to think about, to process, and to consider the change you want to make. Now remember, all change is not equal. Since I've been here at New Hope, we've made lots of small tweaks and changes, and you probably don't know anything about them because they were small tweaks and changes. But there's been other changes that have been made that are huge. Like I remember this summer, as New Hope, many people were talking about the process of moving from Awana to launching a new ministry called Amplify. That was huge. And so that took months and months of conversations and prayer and really allowing people the time to accept the change. Here's the principle: the bigger the change, the more time you need to allow for that change to set in and for people to adjust. Number 4, 2 more. Number 4, stay optimistic. As you lead people through change, remember, not everyone's gonna like it. There will be naysayers, there will be slow adapters, there will be people who will push back. There might even be people that are critical of you. My encouragement: stay optimistic, stay vigilant. If God's leading you to do this, then this is an important thing to do. But let me couple that with our last principle. Last one is this, number 5, be willing to adjust. You know, you may determine this is a good change to make, but then as you go through the process, you realize, you know what, God's leading in a different way. You may get some good feedback that's helpful, and you say, you know what, maybe I was actually wrong. Maybe we need to stay the course that we're on. So be willing to adjust. My hope is in the principle of leading change carefully. These 5 principles will help you in your ministry, again, whether a small group, your ministry, whatever it is, will help you lead change well. Thanks for all you do. God bless you. Have a great rest of your week.